Good morning, Integrated 3. Okay, so today, this is for Thursday, August 29th. We are describing and drawing cross-sections of solids. This is the notes. All right, so this one takes a decent amount of like geometric visualization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple other YouTube videos in here as well that have a little bit better models than what I can create and hold up just using my hands here. I think that might help you visualize it if you're struggling to see like the concept of what's going on. It's like slicing through these shapes. For now, I'm going to do my best, explain it, just explain it with words and try to show you what's going on through these notes. But if that doesn't make sense after that, go ahead, check out the YouTube videos. I'm going to find a couple good ones and post them in here that will also be helpful. All right, so let's see what we've got. So describing cross sections. Imagine a plane slicing through a solid, right? Okay, so you can think about it like it'd be like a tissue box, right? For these first ones for this square here, it'd be like a plane would be like a piece of paper, right? A piece of paper just slicing through this tissue box. Okay, the intersection of the plane and the solid is called a cross section. So when we're talking about the intersection, what we're talking about is that purple area right in there, right? Where that piece of paper that's like cutting through my tissue box, where it's like inside the tissue box. That's like our intersection. It says, for example, 3 different cross sections of a cube. That'd be like our tissue box here, is shown below. All right. So basically, here's the idea, right? Is if I'm cutting it flat, right? We're parallel to the base. Like this is the base of my tissue box, so we're parallel. We're at like the same angle. It's not like slanted at all, right? That's going to be like this guy right here. It's going to make that square, that cross section, that little purple space inside is a square. Now, if we cut through it at the slant, again, notice we're not looking at like this. We're not really looking at this triangle shape here. That's not what we're looking at. What we are interested in is this purple area that is laying flat. So again, we've actually got like a rectangular shape when we're slicing through it at an angle, right? That's like slicing through this tissue box at this angle. Again, it's hard to do with my hands. Hopefully these pictures make sense. This is why I'm going to attach a couple YouTube videos. And as always, please reach out to me with questions. Last thing here is if we're cutting through down here, like at an angle, this would be like cutting through right down there. With just cutting off a little small corner, that is actually going to make a triangular cross section. Cross section is pretty small. I'm not going to try to color it, but you can see this little purple space here is shaped like a triangle. All right. And then examples, so it says, describe the shape formed by the intersection of the plane and the solid. All right, so we've got like this hexagonal prism, right? Shaped like a hexagon. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides around, and we're cutting just straight through the top. So if you can visualize what's going on there, right? That's what we're visualizing, or what we're going to be cutting out with that cross section. It's going to look exactly like the front, right? So if we're saying describe this shape, again, we're just looking at this little purple area, right? It's a 2-dimensional shape. It's like a piece of paper is slicing right through my object, right? So that shape, it would just be that purple hexagonal shape right here. So if I want to describe the shape, I could just say it is a hexagon, right? And again, if this makes sense, if you think this is easy, you can speed up the video if you want. You can skip through. If this is hard to see with just me going through it, check out the other videos I'm going to post later as well. All right. And then we've got this triangular prism just cutting through again, flat, like parallel to the base, right? If we've got like this triangular prism pointing up this way and I'm going to cut right through it, that purple section it creates, I'm trying to like kind of redraw it right here, that is going to be a triangle. And then our next one is we've got a cylinder. So you're thinking about if I've got a cylinder, that'd be like this water bottle right here, and I'm going to come and cut straight down the top this direction, right? And it's going to cut it. It's almost like it's cutting it into 2, not quite halves, right? Because we can see that the side with the purple on it's a little bit smaller than the other side. But if we're just looking at that cross section that gets cut out, right? Just that space where our piece of paper is cutting through the water bottle, that itself is going to be in the shape of a rectangle, right? Because again, we don't care about that blue part that sticks out in front of it. We only care about that part right where it's slicing through. So this would be a rectangle. And then I didn't write it, but we got a triangle here. All right, next one, we've got a cone. I'm looking for something cone-shaped in here that I can hold up. I'm not seeing anything cone-shaped. I suppose it would be like the top of this water bottle here, something of a cone, right? It'd be like cutting through right here. If I'm cutting through the top of that cone, it's going to leave us with a circular cross-section. All right, again, we're not worried about this part. We don't care what's going on up there at the top. We're only worried about that little circular spot where it's cutting right through our cone. So the cross-section is going to look just that circle. So if we describe it, you can just say it's a circle. Again, think about a sphere, right? We've got a ball. I should have a ball in here somewhere. All right, you know what a ball looks like. All right, so we're cutting straight through a ball, basketball, soccer ball, whatever, right? That cross-section shape is also going to be a circle. That one is once again a circle. This last one is a little bit interesting. It looks like we've got some sort of a cube, but we're cutting through it at an interesting angle. That angle that we're cutting at, if we notice, this top section of our cross section is a bit longer than the bottom. So what that is going to leave us for the cross section, something shaped like that, that is actually going to end up being a trapezoid. All right. Point 2, drawing a cross section. So this is about how you're going to be able to draw them yourself. So it says, draw the cross section formed by a plane parallel to the base, right? So that's saying if this is my base, right, we're going to be parallel, right? No slant angle. It's not going this way, not this way. They're parallel, right? Going the same direction. And it intersects the red line segment. All right. What is the shape of the cross section? All right. So we come here. It gives us that first step. So think about a plane parallel to the base. When it says the lateral face and passes through, that's just talking about it. It's intersecting the sides, right? The sides of the pyramid. When you're a pyramid, you've got a few different sides. You've got the base, that bottom, and then everything else, they just call those lateral faces. So when we say a horizontal plane, that's talking about this guy right here. Parallel to the base, right? That's saying it's the same angle, the same slope as the base, right? They're going the same direction. And it intersects the lateral face. That's saying it's cutting through the sides. And then it passes through this red line segment, right? It's passing through this guy, right? All right. And then it says the horizontal plane is parallel to the base of the pyramid, right? That's what we said. That piece of paper that we're cutting through that little triangular prism with, or I guess it's more of a rectangular pyramid is I guess what that would be. That piece of paper we're cutting through a rectangular pyramid, it's parallel to the base, right? So it says, draw each pair of parallel line segments where it intersects the lateral faces, right? That's these guys right here. This is where the piece of paper that's cutting through our rectangular pyramid would be like touching the sides of the pyramid, all right? And then lastly, we can shade in that cross section. So it gives us this cross section. Gives us like a square or a rectangular shape right there. All right. So those are the steps for drawing a cross section. All right, we can see a couple examples here. So it says, draw the cross section formed by the described plane that intersects the red line segment drawn on the solid. Again, this isn't an art class. It doesn't have to be perfect. What it does need to do is communicate that you understand what is going on. All right, so a plane is perpendicular to the base. So what that means, again, our base, I'm going to shade it blue. This would be the base right here, right? It's that bottom side. That would be our base. So when we're perpendicular, if this is my base, that's telling us we're going to be coming down, hitting it this way, right? Perpendicular, they're going to intersect at a 90-degree angle. Okay? So when I'm drawing that cross section, what you're just thinking about is this shape right here. It's perpendicular to my base. It's intersecting it at a 90-degree angle. And it's going to look something like that, right? It's coming straight up and down. It is cutting through the shape, all right? And it is going to make a rectangle, all right? So think about, I've got this pentagon, and then I got a piece of paper that's going to slice right through it. All right, so that is going to be that pink section right there. There's your cross section. All right, in the same way, so now we've got this plane is the base blue again, right? Down there, that bottom side, parallel to the base, right? We're going the same slope as the base this time. We're not going to come down and touch the base. So if I have a plane that's going the same direction, I can use other faces back here, right? And that if we shade our cross section in purple, it's going to be like a pentagon, right? Think about, I've got like this pentagonal pyramid with a base, and we've got the sides coming up here, and the paper that's just slicing right through it. All right, what is the shape? So for this first one, I guess I didn't say it. It would be a rectangle. Second one, we've got a pentagon right here. And then what else do we got? We've got plane is parallel to the bottom face. So again, the bottom face, that's going to be this guy down here. Parallel, we're going the same angle. So think about, I've got this triangular prism, and I've got a piece of paper that's just going to cut right through it. Parallel to the base. All right, so it's going to come up here. Something like that. All right, and it's going to make something of like a long, skinny rectangle, right? As we've got a pyramid, and we're just cutting right along the top of it. And we're worried about that flat cross section that's going to be in there. All right, so it's going to make, you could just call it a rectangle. We could call it like a longer, skinny rectangle, right? Because it's lengthy, but the width is lower than the width of the rectangle from the pentagon example above. All right, one more of these examples, and then you can check out the other videos and try the practice problems. All right, so plane is perpendicular to the bottom face. Hopefully this is making sense by now. Bottom face is that bottom side. I'll make it blue. Perpendicular, right? We're coming down, intersecting it at 90-degree angle. So just think about, I've got this trapezoidal prism, right? It's a trapezoid, and then we're just slicing straight through the top of it. All right, so slicing straight through the top of it's going to come down, look something like this. The reason I teach math and not art is because I can't draw shade purple. Right, and again, we've got this purple cross section, like cut right out the middle of our, we've got this trapezoidal prism, and we're cutting right through the middle of it. All right, so let's see. And then again, that is a trapezoid. All right, and that is it as far as the notes. So please, if you're having trouble visualizing like what's going on here, I usually just think about a piece of paper we're cutting through. Usually it's either going to be parallel or it's going to be perpendicular to that bottom face. And check out the other videos. That should maybe help a little more with the visualization if you need that. As always, I know I always say this, but I really do mean it. If you have questions, please reach out to me. I will get that taken care of as soon as I can. I usually try to respond within a few minutes. But yeah, good luck.